Good morning and welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. And today I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Peter and Sarah Moles from Outside Ideas. But specifically today, we are going to talk about their networking group, which is Networking In. Welcome, Peter and Sarah.
Hello. Thank you for having us, Sandy.
I know that your networking event started sort of way before lockdown. But myself and quite a few others who come along every other Wednesday to Networking In understand the value that you guys give to networking, because it's not just about the business, is it? So how did it evolve and come to be online as well?
Yeah, great question. So Networking In's been going for 3 years now. So it started when I was working for another coaching company, and I decided that I was doing an awful lot of networking at the time, and kind of looked around and looked at the various different business models for networking. And in honesty, I kind of wanted, I looked at the people that were running these networking events, and whenever I went to someone's networking event, they were the person that I wanted to go and make friends with. And I figured it would kind of be cool to be at the middle of a group. So, you know, I could go and join lots of others, or I could start my own. And that's how it all got started. So I looked at the likes of BNI and For Networking, which was big at the time, and I kind of took the bits that I liked. And for me, you know, the whole ethos of people do business with people they know, like, and trust was basically the mantra for it all. And I'd met an awful lot of people who didn't like the pressure of some of the other working groups. So yeah, we started out with five people, and I used to take a little selfie every time with 5, and then there were 10, and then there was 13. And within a pretty short amount of time, actually, because back in the day we were doing it for free just because I wanted to be the man in the middle, we got to 35, which was the maximum that we could get. And then what I was finding was people were booking onto the event because there was only 35 tickets, and they'd book on within a day of the tickets going live, and would get waiting lists of 20 to 30 people at a time. And then people wouldn't turn up, and it really started to dog me off. So at which point I started to charge, because if people are going to book on and pay not turn up, that's cool. And originally we did it for charity, and then over time we've kind of gone, now we need to start charging for this and making money, because charity begins at home, right?
But it was also clear that the kind of process behind it needed some investment, you know, the email confirmations and things like that, rather than Pete on a Tuesday evening going, who have I got? I don't know. I mean, so we needed to invest in it and make sure that it was actually serving people the way that we wanted it to. And obviously that takes a bit of cash.
Yeah, and I think that's the driver, actually, because it got to a point where something needed to happen, something needed to change, because I was constantly disappointed at myself about the service that we were providing, the customer journey and customer service that we were providing. So we started charging, and the systems have had a well-needed boost, and it's now looking really good. So Sarah and I were looking at the start of COVID with the spread and how it was spreading in China and then in Italy, and I made the decision really early on. I believe we were the first. Well, we were definitely the first group locally to go, we're not going to meet face to face. I had a very vulnerable stepfather and decided that it just wasn't worth it for us. So we went online in the February, I believe.
Yeah.
And was the uptake like pretty instantaneous, or did sort of a lot of the regulars drop off if they didn't fancy it?
Almost all of the regulars dropped away, to be honest with you. So we were at that point we were doing an event in Newbury and an event in Thiel, which is South Reading, and we were having probably 50 people across the two different events come very regularly. Some people kind of crossed over and went to both, but there were probably 50 people. And that first online group, I think there were 13 people. So it died, it dropped. But word spread, and look, the beauty of it being online is we get to attract people. We have attracted a group of people who are just like us, you know,
Yep.
warm, welcoming, friendly, inclusive, supportive, wanting to grow, wanting to develop. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how people have been receptive to going online, really.
And I know for me, I did one live networking event and then we went into lockdown. So I did go to quite a few online, and the difference between networking in and some of the others that I've been to is that whole business ethos. And I know at the end of the day, it is about business. It's about building business. It's about sharing business. But the thing with networking in for me is the support. And to be honest with you, I don't think that my business would have survived without networking groups like yours. And people go on, what's your mantra, Pete? People buy
from people that they know, like, and trust. And yeah, I think, you know, the benefit of being online is people, and there are loads of different networking groups that people can go to, but what we try to do is make it honest and human and fun, but it is growth focused. So we'll have an expert coming along every session and talking to us about something that's going to be of value to the community, and we're very focused on that element of things. But we also like to have a laugh, and we don't take ourselves too seriously.
And I mean, for me, again, during lockdown, that is so important, because it has been a really stressful time. But being able to jump online with you guys once a fortnight and seeing everybody else and having a laugh and doing the whole kind of wavy thing and everything, it's just been phenomenal, certainly for my mental health. And I would imagine for a lot of other people's as well. So where do you see it going in the future? Obviously, we're coming out of lockdown now. Things are returning to some semblance of normality. So where do you see us going in the future?
I definitely see the attraction of face-to-face right now. There is an absolute novelty over it for sure, because we've been locked up at home for over a year and a half, and all of a sudden these events are there for you to go to. And I would absolutely, we're throwing our first face-to-face session this Friday coming.
We're going to the races.
We're going to the races. However, we have attracted an amazing group of people from all over the country. In fact, not just the country, from further afield as well. And we don't want to lose any of them. We feel that Networking In has created, we've created a great platform just to enable people just to get to know one another and have a great time, learn a bit at the same time, and feel a renewed sense of vigour and purpose, for their work. And we want to continue being able to do that. So predominantly Networking In will stay online, but we will make sure that probably once a quarter, there is some kind of face-to-face event, with a summer and a Christmas event being slightly bigger than the other two. Because we think hopefully that will attract a really good balance. Because I also think online networking is just far more convenient. You're not wasting half a day for an hour and a half session and having to get up at the sunrise and all of that sort of stuff. It's easier to connect with people.
I think it's very true, and I think that's amazing. And we're going to put a couple of links in the comments to Networking In, and also to the newsletter people can sign up to. And just so that you know, if you use the little code that's in the link, and you can attend one of Networking In's events free of charge. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a delight.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Take care.